Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Dream Builds. My name is dreaminsilence, but you can call me Jake. It has been quite a while since we have checked in on my project wall. I don't think I ever actually told you guys what the colors represent on here. The cyan blue ones are completed projects. Now the red ones are ones that I have not yet even started. The white ones are in progress projects. And the yellow ones are projects that I have worked on before, but have been put on hold. Now, we do have a new blue sign to add to this. Last episode, I built the back rooms. So let's add a little cyan and a little glow squid. Boom. Some of you may remember, back in Dream Builds episode 8, I, like a crazy person, decided to tell you all about all of my future project plans I had at the time. And if you were paying attention, you might have noticed this one right here, Halloween 2024 project classified. I did not actually talk about that project in that video, partially because I wanted to keep it a secret at the time, and I wasn't sure if I was actually going to do it. And it ended up being the backrooms, which I did for Jolly's scavenger hunt last episode. I scaled it back quite a bit from my original idea, but I still think it turned out pretty good. Today we have an exciting development. One of these yellow signs is going to be turned white. That's right. I have renamed this sign because since making this project wall, I have actually come up with a lot more lore and a name for the fictional company that owns the lab under my house. The lab is a project that I have worked on off and on for years. I made it in the first place for making concrete because I needed a lot of concrete for the Witch Abyss. And for a long time, I never really fully knew exactly what I wanted to do with that lab because I didn't really have any need to build it unless I was going to put more machines down there. But you may remember when I decided on remodeling my house, I decided to add lore to it, and I hinted that it would end up being connected to whatever is going on in the lab down below. This episode, that's what we're going to be working on today. We are both going to be expanding upon what is already down there below and giving context to the lore that I've been building, but also giving Parasol a front-facing location. The main lab headquarters will actually need to have a, real building that the lab down below is hidden beneath. That then what became my house sprouted out of due to some sort of experiment gone wrong. This is something that I have been meaning to get around to for a long time and I've been procrastinating on, and it would be a fun little project to do as a little break in between before getting back to working on my mega biome project. There was actually a hill next to my house, in between my house and the cathedral, that I felt like something needed to be put there for the longest time, but I couldn't figure out what until recently. And so, I think it's time that we get to some building today. So I'm gonna do that, and I will see you guys on the other side. Well, hello again. It's been a little while since the last recording, and as you may have noticed in the montage, I've done quite a bit. Oh, and Holland is on the server right now. Thank you for sleeping for us, Holland. Ah. Yes. I believe the best way for me to show you guys everything that I've done, what it's all about, and what I'm going for, is for me to give you a little tour. So, let's head on in. I kind of focused with this project on getting one main chunk done at a time, one after the other. So I started with the main building, and then I off-shot into this walkway over here, where you may see a special little item there. This platform up here, I built partially early on, and then came back to later to add more details. But we'll get over there in just a minute. I am not a redstone genius. The idea here is that these are glass sliding doors that just happen to be open. And you walk through, boop. Now our employee at the front desk is watching on the camera. It will buzz us in so we can walk inside. If we were an employee, that is. But you will notice, possibly, I have used an illager as the employee here, same as the pontiff in the cathedral that's directly across the street. In fact, it's perfectly aligned with it. And there's a reason for that, but I'll get to that in a minute. So let's walk on in. This is the main lobby. Not a lot in here. It's just where everybody would walk in before they clock in for work and head off to their different departments of the company. But I'll walk you guys upstairs here. I finally, this episode, decided to start tinkering with the armor stand mod. So that's what some of this stuff is here. Kind of tried to make this like a magnifying glass of some sort, experimenting on a rotten potato. And then this is just some plants that maybe they've done some bioengineering on. That's sort of a little bit of a microcosm of what's going on here, really. Don't ask what's going on here. Now this terminal up here at the center and the top is going to have a gigantic screen on it. But I'm not going to yet reveal that to you guys. That's going to be for a future episode. This, if I use my floaty cam here, it's going to be the easiest way for me to show this off. The satellite dish that I've built on the top. It's not the best satellite dish you've ever seen in Minecraft, probably, but I tried to make it a reasonable size, and I wanted to use the copper graded blocks to have it be partially see-through. And you will notice over here, this platform kind of looks like a launch pad, if you will. There may be some other things going on here that this company was up to, but for now, we will head down below and see what else has been going on at Parasol Proprietaries. Now here, we have what looks to be just a standard little storage closet. Unassuming, kind of dingy and unkept looking, but if you look a little closer, you'll notice there are shulker boxes for the floor. And if I open this box that I'm standing on, we fall through to a secret chamber. And what's down here? Well, this is something I did not show in the montage because I decided to show you guys the broad strokes of what I did and keep it to a reasonable length. Now, what is not a reasonable length is this tunnel. It's a bit long. It's a bit lengthy, you could say. And I did not fill every one of these chambers. I kind of just filled the ones that were closest to the door that is directly connected to the lab. But what is this connected to? Well, if you remember, like I pointed out earlier, The lab is directly across from... Wait for it. Wait for it. Ah! The cathedral. The reason for this is that the cathedral is stealing people away in secret, taking them off to the lab through the tunnel down below to be experimented on. What kind of experiments? We don't really know. Not yet, anyways. There are still some other things that I may possibly want to add to the lab at some point, but the main lore bits that I wanted to establish are what we built in this episode. So now if we head back through here, there's another door that we can go through, and it actually goes to the skeleton spawner that's next to my house here. We can just walk by here, have a little view of it, see if we can see some skeletons spawn. There we go. It's actually broken right now, but we're going to worry about that later. But if we continue down this tunnel, we will find... Could be stuck a hoglin in my storage room, and I'm not dealing with that right now. But you'll see this leads back up into my storage room here, where we have our new friend. Now this way goes off to a mine that I dug some time ago, that I have another entrance to, but I figured I might as well add to the network of tunnels that I've got going on under my base. Doesn't hurt to give myself more ways in and out of places, but this is ultimately our main way in to the underground lab proper. But this is ultimately a convenient, functional way in for me to use playing the game of Minecraft. The actual main world-building entrance is to a new chamber that I have added down here below. Now if we take a left here, we'll head down this hallway, and we could go into the main room, but first I will take us up to the control center, where we will see this dark room facing out toward a particle collider that has had a critical failure. Yeah, I just added a little computer terminal of some kind, tried to make it look like the mechanism that would be controlling this gigantic machine out here from the safety of this contained room. Not super detailed, but I figured it didn't really have to be. But if we head back out here into the main chamber here, this is the particle collider chamber. There has been a critical accident. They were trying to experiment with wormholes and other dimensions and such things, and opened a portal that they shouldn't have, and it broke its way through to the outside. Now I will show you the actual entrance to this, but this would be the main entrance that the employees used to get down to this chamber here. It is a no longer functional elevator shaft, and you will see the rift has made its way up the elevator shaft. But let's head back up and enter in through there the proper way. Now, of course, if we were an employee here at Parasol Proprietaries, we'd head through here, clock in, say hello to the employee of the month, every month. After the accident, they're the only employee left, but they're not really aware. They keep on clocking in, and somehow they keep getting paid, so they keep showing up. Over here, we have some more armor stand work. Got some specimens and interesting artifacts on display. Over here, of course, is the launch pad, we will call it. But if we head down here, this would be the true, proper way in. Now here is where I decided to do a little bit of redstone. An employee would be working at this computer here, and people would come to get inside, and they would let them in through a slightly overly complex machine door opening system. So if we press this button here, there's some kind of mysterious goo that gets dropped into that chamber there with a pressure plate. And as you heard, a piston door opened here. So we can walk on through. And you'll see the rift has made its way up here. And it has distorted the elevator and stuck it in place. But if we actually jump up here, this is actually navigable. You can see the rift breaking through and creating what would end up being my house. Yes. Now I don't do this a whole lot normally, but I figured this would be the best way for me to show you guys. I'm going to use some free cam here for a second. We have the collider, and I actually did make it so that it is breaking a hole through into the elevator shaft, corrupting everything around it and working its way up because the entity from whatever realm it's from is trying to break out and up through the ground. And you will actually see the rift itself directly above, which then, of course, my house sprouted out from. So yeah, this took a lot of work. But I think ultimately it was really worth it. It's not functional. There's not really any functional purpose to any of this stuff. In fact, this entrance is kind of, not practical for regular everyday use playing on the Minecraft server. But for world building purposes, I thought it would be really cool. I really wanted there to be a sort of world building reason for all of this stuff to exist and be working together in tandem to tell a little bit of a story. So now you know what Parasol did that led to this. There are some powers that man shouldn't temper with, like wormholes and things. Of course, that may not seem like an inherently evil thing for Parasol to be trying to do, but it's the recklessness of it and not taking proper precautions for the safety of the people working here and the people living around them. But let's head on down here. Yes, believe it or not, all of this stuff that I have shown you guys took me quite a while. I mean, obviously, it's been a couple months since my last video. Part of it is because I decided to allow myself to take my time with this project and not worry so much about getting videos out sooner, and rather just make sure that I was satisfied with what I made. Hopefully all of this is interesting to you guys. And also, you'd be surprised how much of this stuff I did one way and then got partway through working on the next thing and then realized, oh, that thing isn't quite right. I had to tear it down and do it over again. Like the elevator shaft was originally like right here. And I made this chamber and I ended up realizing it needed to be bigger when I put up the walls, and so I had to tear down the walls and move them over. And obviously the elevator shaft, I was like, it doesn't really make sense for it to be in the middle of the room. And yeah, this was the most I've had to sort of trial and error a project in a long time. I had general ideas for some of the things that I wanted to accomplish with this project, but I was still kind of figuring out how to do them as I did it. This thing in particular, my rendition of a particle collider, as best as I could manage to try and depict it. Oh, hello. As best as I could try and depict it in a believable way and have it have the blocks that I used be sort of in line with the other technology blocks that I've been using for other stuff in the lab. I was originally using a whole different set of blocks for this thing, and then I eventually realized it just didn't quite look right and didn't really go along with any of the other stuff I was building. So I switched some stuff around, used more deep slate and copper like I did for a lot of the other stuff that I've done in the lab here. And I think it turned out really well. I'm pretty happy with this. Part of my inspiration for this was actually the Into the Spider-Verse movie. There's a gigantic particle collider chamber in that movie, and I tried to somewhat make this chamber be reminiscent of that a little bit, but taking it in my own direction. But anyway, let's head back outside. So now, after all this time, ever since I did this rift behind me back in episode 2 of Dream Builds, and then I did the top half in episode 7. Was that their episode 7 or 8? I have a hard time remembering. Now we have added the lab and the source of the entity that became my house to the world. This was very much a project that I had certain ideas for what I wanted it to be and what I wanted to include in it, but it was also very much a iterative process of figuring out exactly what I wanted to do and coming up with new ideas as I built it. And it is what it is. And I think what it is pretty cool. And you might have noticed, if you have a savvy eye, I've mentioned before that the lab is partially inspired by Resident Evil, and I've definitely used some iconography here from that series. I maybe used different colors to distinguish it from being the same thing. Capcom, don't come after me. It's just a homage, I swear. Because as I said, this took me a while. It's been basically another couple months in the time that I've taken working on this project. And during that time, the server has had some activity with friends. You may even notice that the chicken that was off in the distance during the montage is no longer there. But I'm not going to show that to you right now. It's time to cut to some fun moments that I had with my friends and them showing me around the things that they built.
The tower isn't technically my home. I built it because I am the witch of the server, and that's where I make my witchy potions. My actual home is in the mountain, but I'm a Dream's house anyway.
Yes, the tower is all for show.
Yeah, it's just to show my power.
It's like those guys that drive those lifted trucks.
Oh. I see you. I don't see Clone, actually, so maybe it's limited.
Unusual. But yes, that's
Lava.
for you.
Look, audience, there's a roof on Spider's tower.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
It's magical.
The chicken is dead.
It took me 2 years.
That's okay. As long as we got there, right?
Yeah, it took me 2 years though, which is crazy. I was thinking about that when I was watching your video and you'd said something like, the tower. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's been like a year or 2 years since then. I need to put a roof on it.
It's okay. Normal people just, don't play Minecraft all year long like I do. All right. I can't remember which ocean you're in. Is it the one north of Fun Parts house?
I don't know which way's north.
Oh my god, this man doesn't know
Don't ask
where
the man
north
that's
is.
directionally challenged.
I can point it to you in real life.
Oh, there it is! Oh. Ooh. Clone, how do you build so fast?
He's just
This is a 2-day I was on last night, and I rough sketched it out. I finished gathering the materials this morning. Playing for a while.
Made a sketch, gathered materials, and built this within 2 days.
He just goes. He doesn't plan
He's a
anything really. He
beast.
just kind of goes.
I wasn't sure exactly. Like the only thing I sketched was the center part, the monolith that opens up.
The
I mean, I guess.
All right,
So-
walk me through. Give me the experience.
All right. Well, first you start here,
I have a
and
plan.
here is where the murder of the wonderful, cute beings
Where
that
the-
the axolotl
Where the
are.
Hollanding happened.
Yeah.
No.
God.
Does anybody have a piece of leather?
I have.
Yes.
It's on them. Can I have it?
Yeah, I have one
It's
in
Look
my
at this
bag.
man.
It's in the bag.
Ready
It's
to
in
go.
the bag.
Thank you. So the lighthouse keeper up here, he's been tending this lighthouse, and this
Lighthouse.
madman came and relinquished his power and started slaughtering all of the axolotls, right? And secretly, little did Holland know that this madman manning the tower has been hearing the ebb and flow of the waves in such a way where it resounds an unbeknownst sound, one that speaks of the eldritch, one that calls to another realm. And the blood sacrifice of all these axolotls was heard and received by the eldritch beings.
Oh my God, Holland! You
And-
summoned the blood moon.
The lore
I
grows.
just finished Bloodborne recently, by the way, clone.
Perfect timing. These guys are a little different. Anyway, they're sending these obelisks to come and conquer, as the breach between the two dimensions has been worn thin by this blood sacrifice. And here is an action shot of one of the monoliths opening up and basically 3D printing their fortress.
Ah.
So I'm curious if you were able to get that by looking at it, like the energy coming down,
Yeah,
or is it kind of?
It does look like something is like being constructed.
That's the idea. And this place doesn't really make sense, but the glass is kind of shimmering up off of the build itself to try to emulate some of that energy happening.
Wait, hold on a minute.
And that
I'm gonna turn on my glowies. Oh.
this is a hidden detail that you wouldn't otherwise notice, but if you look up into the center of this obelisk that's open, you can kind of see the layered glass that I did the fog effect from, that you taught me actually from your house.
Oh, yes,
It's just
yes.
a little bit. It's not quite enough space to really hit home on that effect, but I think it should be like there's a power you don't quite understand in there. And that's mostly this. I think one other thing that could be shown off is the pillar. Actually, Spider gave me the idea. This pillar right down here. It's kind of lost in the sauce with the color palette being so limited when you look at it from the front, the bust, which I thought was kind of cool. So it's a pillar, but in the middle, it's still getting constructed.
Yeah. Almost like a hologram, but it's like hard light or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
But that's it,
Oh.
and there will be more in this Tales from the. I haven't written it yet, but I'm gonna write the lore in a book and put it in a frame up at this bed up here to explain more why the Eldritch worship was happening by this guy himself.
Oh, like a lectern with a journal on it?
That's a great idea. I was gonna do a item frame with just the journal.
I think like a lighthouse keeper diary would be really good.
Yeah, and I watched The Lighthouse, by the way, Dream. You had recommended
yeah.
to me ages
Holy
ago. I'm gonna go a little bit on that because it does have Eldritch themes in that movie, and basically he's gonna be off shift change, and then he's gonna hear his captain singing a weird tune, and then he's gonna hear the waves and the wind in this same tune, and it's kind of undescribable, unknown even. And then he'll get brainwashed into a more maddened state by this tune, and then yeah, it's gonna point to a clue to another destination, because this is gonna tie into the adventure kind of map I'm trying to make slowly but surely.
Okay.
Right over here,
Cool.
clone. Over by the farm part. I did end up, once I was done, I had like a sort of hate drafting idea where I broke open the walls and I released all the axolotls into the ocean. I was hoping that they would forever eat all the tropical fish and things in the area, but instead, if you follow me, they all just gathered at the bottom of the lake. Down here.
Oh. Oh,
Oh, wow.
that is cool. Kind of neat.
There is some diamond ore down here as well. I left it down here because it would look nice.
And then there's a little bit in the village that I built next to Dream's Church. If you ever have a chance to explore that, I won't spoil it. There's a lot of hidden stuff going on there.
I remember there was like a little parkour puzzle in one of the basements, and I had to dig my way out because I was just like, God, I'm so bad.
This is safe to say it's complete. Thank you guys for checking it out.
Yeah, that's very cool. I like it. That's all for this episode. I hope to see you guys again soon. And don't forget, I love your face.